Welcome to the Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence 2019-2020. Established in 1993 by former Vice-Chancellor Sir Alistair McIntyre, the awards originally aimed to recognize outstanding achievements by academic staff in the areas of teaching, research, service to the university community, contribution to public service, and all-round excellence in a combination of two or more of these areas. In 2003, the recognition scheme was expanded to include senior administrative and professional staff. And in 2012, the Vice-Chancellor's Departmental Award for Excellence was introduced to recognize quality assurance excellence. In 2016, two new categories were added: Excellence in Multi-Campus Research Collaboration, referred to as the 1UWI Award, and Excellence in International Collaboration, referred to as the Globalization Award. All awardees, having proven themselves exemplars in their respective pursuits, are presented with a citation and a monetary prize. An annual highlight on the university's calendar, the Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence are traditionally presented at ceremonies rotated among the UWI's campuses. This year's 27th celebration marks the first ever virtual ceremony, as well as the largest number of awardees to be honored at any one ceremony, taking the total number of awards since inception to 153. Under the leadership of Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, the awards have had a special added significance, as Vice-Chancellor Beckles was one of the very first recipients of the inaugural award. Congratulations to all the awardees. This evening we celebrate you.
Chancellor Mr. Robert Bermudez and Ms. Marahaj, Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles and Lady Beckles, Chairman of the Selection Committee and Pro-Vice-Chancellor Graduate Studies and Research Professor Stephen Gift, members of the University Selection Committee for the Vice-Chancellor's Awards, campus principals and other members of university executive and senior management, distinguished awardees, UWI staff, students, alumni, partners and friends in the region and across the globe joining us online. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very special presentation of the University of the West Indies Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence 2019-2020. I am Dr. Maurice Smith, University Registrar, and it is my esteemed pleasure to host this evening's virtual awards ceremony. It goes without saying that we are in the midst of an extraordinary year, one of unprecedented challenges and experiences, and a new appreciation for connecting online. For a regional institution such as ours, meeting virtually has been the norm for quite some time. Yet this is a first in the 27th year of these prestigious awards. And in spite of regional COVID-19 guidelines, celebrating the outstanding accomplishments of our colleagues is an honor and cherished tradition of our university, and so the show must go on. I believe it is particularly important this year to recognize and celebrate performance excellence, as this is what keeps our institution and the region going and even thriving when confronted with challenges like COVID-19. Our region is only as excellent as the people that are a part of our community. The Caribbean and the world at large have benefited tremendously from the contributions of our UWI people, and we are pleased that this occasion gives us the opportunity to salute them at home, literally and figuratively. So let me extend my personal congratulations to this year's 12 awardees, which I should add is a record number of recipients. You have proven yourselves exemplars in your respective pursuits, and this evening we honor you. I wish to also welcome and thank our UWI family, alumni, friends, and well-wishers for tuning in this evening virtually via UWITV. It is my pleasure to be joining you in the comfort of your homes. I hope you stay with us for the duration of this exciting and engaging ceremony. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce Pro Vice-Chancellor for Graduate Studies and Research, Professor Stephen Gift. He will bring remarks on behalf of the selection committee for the awards.
Vice-Chancellor, University Registrar, University colleagues, awardees, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is again a great pleasure to be present at the Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence ceremony, this for the 2019-2020 academic year, to celebrate the success of our world-class academics and administrators. COVID-19 has forced us to conduct the ceremony in an entirely different manner from previously, but as a creative team, we have and are making the adjustments necessary to continue conducting our business as a university. These awards recognize excellence in teaching, research, service to the university community, contribution to public service, international collaboration, and multi-campus research collaboration. This year, as occurs in almost every year, we had many outstanding nominees, and it is a testament to the excellence of our university that the selection committee, which as PVC Graduate Studies and Research I chair, had tremendous difficulty in selecting from among those worthy candidates. I congratulate all the winners of these prestigious awards. Your work brings international recognition to our institution and enhances our ability to attract the best students and staff. I encourage all the other nominees to continue making your important contributions, always striving for the high standards consistent with a university that ranks in the top 4% of the world's best universities as we are. I am thrilled that so many of our colleagues come forward for consideration every year. Congratulations to you all. High-quality research is critical to the progress of our university, and much is being done to support and promote it. Over the past year, we have successfully held 2 major training webinars in mixed methods software and statistical analysis software. Hundreds of our colleagues and students attended these online training sessions. My office supports 5 research clusters involving researchers from across the university who pursue research in areas such as crime and security, agriculture and food security, climate change, and sustainable development. We recently formed another research cluster to explore issues in data science, and the hope is that the output of this group would enable us to realize new revenue streams in this increasingly important area of 21st century technology. By the end of the current semester, we expect to have a one UWI research database which would contain information about the research output of the university that will be accessible by all campuses. This system will allow us to easily view the annual research output by individual staff member, faculty, campus, and university, and will be updated each year using the official faculty reports. Finally, in support of major research projects, my office supports and coordinates applications for grant funding from international donor agencies. This amounted to US $45 million for the past academic year, with $13 million being actually won. These grants have enabled researchers to pursue important research in many areas, including those already mentioned. For the past 2 years, the university has embarked on a thrust into innovation and entrepreneurship in order to make itself more entrepreneurial. Innovation is a key driver of economic growth, and the university is expected to provide the necessary leadership across the region in order to realize this growth. We have taken very deliberate steps toward this end and have generated considerable enthusiasm among staff and students in the 20 faculties of the university. The objective is to promote staff and student participation in innovation and entrepreneurship in order to produce commercially viable products and services. We have so far taken the following steps. 1. Entrepreneurial committees have been established in each faculty. Each committee is a forum within a faculty where staff and students can discuss ideas and programs needed to promote innovation and entrepreneurship among staff and students. These committees reported at a workshop held last week on the efforts thus far, and the results are encouraging. 2. Industry representatives from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Jamaica thus far have been engaged in a series of UWI industry consultations in order to make important inputs to the process of building out the entrepreneurial ecosystem. This UWI industry partnership is being nurtured through continuing engagement. 3. A webinar series on building an entrepreneurial UWI was launched with presentation by successful entrepreneurs from this and other institutions. These presentations have helped to stimulate interest in this exercise. 4. Each campus has begun to take steps to establish or enhance incubator facilities, intellectual property services, seed funding, and other services and facilities in support of innovation and entrepreneurship. 5. Courses and programs on innovation and entrepreneurship are being planned and introduced. 6. We have revised our intellectual property policy and proposed an adjustment to our assessment and promotion rules in order to recognize innovation and entrepreneurship and thereby encourage staff participation. And 7, with assistance from one major local company and one major international company, an innovation laboratory has been established in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at St. Augustine campus. This laboratory has been completed and is soon to be launched. These and other activities have resulted in an increased interest in innovation and entrepreneurship among staff and students, with an increased rate of invention disclosures at the university. For a comprehensive report on these activities, I refer you to the special report, Building an Entrepreneurial UWI, commissioned by the Vice-Chancellor, that is available online. We are continuing to pursue high-quality research and encouraging our researchers to move their award-winning research from the laboratory into the marketplace. In all of this, students are at the center of the activities, as it is well known that success in this area requires active student participation. Our graduates will be able to both apply for jobs and to create jobs. I am excited by these developments, and I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to participate in this transformational change at our university. I look forward to continuing engagement with our awardees and the many other outstanding researchers and students at our university as we strive to become a more entrepreneurial university that is positively impacting the region that it serves. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gift. The committee has indeed chosen very well in selecting these outstanding awardees. As I mentioned earlier, this is the 27th year of the Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence. Over the past few years, the ceremony has taken on added significance under the leadership of current Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, who was one of the very first recipients of the inaugural award. This will be another first for him, presenting the awards at its first ever virtual ceremony. I now welcome our esteemed Vice-Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles.
Chancellor, Chancellor, Mr. Robert Bermudez and Mrs. Moraj, Excellencies, Pro Vice-Chancellor, Professor Stephen Gift, Dr. Maurice Smith, and all of our distinguished colleagues, awardees, your family, your friends, members of the media, participants in this inaugural global virtual UWI ceremony. Fine universities are built and sustained on the basis of a culture of collegiality, collaboration, and commitment to academic and administrative excellence in the service of the university and its stakeholders. UWI is a very fine university indeed. It is also a community that seeks to be excellent as well as ethical. No fine university can long subsist if its excellence is not embedded in its internal and external relationships. If those relationships are marred by distrust, dishonesty, and dishonorable conduct, that excellence quickly vanishes. UWI has done very well in these past 72 years. And as we look towards the 75th anniversary of our university in 2023, we are reminded of the importance of holding aloft these treasured values. Our university is filled with some very fine and very bright people indeed. This attribute is our trademark, but as we all know, it is insufficient. It is not enough just to be bright. We have to be caring. We have to be committed, and we have to be courageous. The expression and the brand of excellence we celebrate tonight fall within this distinctive category. Thanks to our awardees tonight and those who preceded them and those who will follow, we are able to celebrate our university. And this year, we have been able to do so within the context of our triple first rankings. Number one in the Caribbean. The top 1% of the best and finest in Latin America and the Caribbean, and the top 1% in our global golden age cohort. In our 73 years, we can very well say that today, our reputation has never been higher. But fine and excellent universities take the celebration of their members who have performed with distinction to the highest level. It is because fine universities seek to be generous, to be respectful, and to be empowering. Fine universities reject hubris and destructive competitiveness and mean-spiritedness. I know very well that I speak for my colleague principals, pro vice-chancellors, the university bursar and registrars, and all of their staff, and all members of the university executive management team. This year, we have been tested by COVID-19. We have experienced death and destruction and pain and suffering. But in the UWI, there has been no despair. There has been no retreat. There has been no loss of confidence and morale. And why? It is because we care. It is because we are committed. And it is because we are courageous. And we are not looking back. We have seen in all of the COVID darkness the light to the future. This is where we are going into the future. Each honoree tonight is a torch bearer, the keeper of the light, the beacon to our better future. We thank you all as we honor you. And I wish to make special reference and mention to our honorees this evening. I will celebrate and recognize Dr. Delroy Shivers, Mona Campus, excellence in teaching. We acknowledge and celebrate Dr. Chris Maharaj, St. Augustine Campus, excellence in teaching. We recognize and celebrate Professor Paulette Ramsey of the Mona Campus, Excellence Award and Research Accomplishments. We recognize and celebrate Dr. Alini Carrasco Ireland, the Cathedral Campus, Excellence in Research Accomplishments. We celebrate Dr. Kim Robinson Walcott, Vice-Chancellor, excellence in her service to the university community. We recognize and celebrate Dr. Olivine Burke, Mona Campus, excellence in contribution to public service. We recognize and celebrate Professor Charles Grant of the Mona Campus, excellence in the area of contribution to public service. We specially recognize Dr. Floyd Morris of the Mona Campus, excellence in the contribution to public service. And to Professor Aldry Henry Lee of Salisis, Mona, excellence in an all-round contribution in 2 or more areas to university life. Professor Michelle Maiko of the St. Augustine Campus, likewise, excellence all round in multiple areas. And we celebrate UWITV, excellence in its international collaboration, the Globalization Awards. And I would wish to mention specially the leader of UWITV, Janet Carew, magnificent leader of this project, and her team. We celebrate excellence also of the Early Childhood Quality Initiative Project, excellence in multi-campus research collaboration, the One UWI Award. And we give special mention to Dr. Kenny Clark, Dr. Burns, and Dr. Abdul Mahajid, and all of the other colleagues. We celebrate you. We thank you for the achievement of distinction within our university, and we hope that you keep that light shining forevermore as UWI move towards its 75th anniversary in short time. Congratulations and all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. Awardees, colleagues, specially invited guests, we now have a special musical interlude by Mr. Andre Woodvine for your enjoyment. Listen in.
I'd like you to welcome to the stage Mr. Andre Woodvine. Mr. Andre Woodvine, ladies and gentlemen.
Andre and your ensemble, we certainly enjoyed that wonderful piece. Thank you so very much. Now, let's get right into this evening's main highlight, the presentation of awards. Our 2019-2020 awardees are from the Cave Hill, Mona and St. Augustine campuses, as well as the university's regional headquarters or Vice-Chancellery. It is a special tradition that the public orator from the hosting campus for the awards ceremony reads vibrant citations describing the awardees and their accomplishments. However, the unique format of this evening's virtual ceremony allows us the pleasure of having citations read by several campus orators. Dr. Kenneth Connell, public orator at the Cave Hill campus, Dr. Michael Buckner, public orator at the Mona campus, and Professor Christine Carrington, public orator at the St. Augustine campus. And so we begin. I now invite Dr. Michael Buckner, public orator at the Mona campus, to introduce and present the first award.
Dr. Delroy Cheevers, Mona School of Business and Management, Excellence Award in Teaching. Vice-Chancellor, what is the connection between forecasting and operations management and that quizzical dancehall figure Gully Bop before or after Sting? For the answer, we would have to turn to Dr. Delroy Cheevers, teacher extraordinaire of the Faculty of Social Sciences. One student has noted that the highlight of his teaching is his ability to connect theory with life. As part of this teaching strategy, he privileges associated learning, thereby ensuring that difficult course concepts are connected to current affairs or students' lives. He also mastered the art of learning hooks, reeling in students in a super catch for each lesson, but also keeping them hooked for the entire semester, thus guaranteeing 100% attendance. This masterful seduction onto the ladder of success is guided by his mantra: attitude, not aptitude, gives students the latitude to learn, and consequently to discover the higher altitude of academic achievement within their grasp. No wonder, Vice-Chancellor, his grade point average as determined by student evaluations is always a superlative assessment between 4.7 to 5.0. Our A-class teacher demonstrates for us how the core of institutional goals can be achieved. As a master teacher, his success is inevitably linked to his interest in student development. Consequently, he practices reflective teaching, which requires him to audit and adjust his practice as each course develops. He embraces current technology for teaching innovations. He produces practical case studies to hone students' critical thinking skills. And he constantly updates his lectures with the latest development in his field. In fact, Vice-Chancellor, he's as excited about research as he is about teaching, and has published 24 peer-reviewed journal articles, 3 case studies, 2 book chapters, and 27 peer-reviewed conference presentations. His research work was recognized in 2017 with the Best Researcher Award from the MSBM Star Awards, the Principal's Best Research Awards, first for Best Publication in 2016, and then Most Outstanding Researcher in 2019. He has also been willing to share the lessons learned and his expertise in teaching with his colleagues via the MSBM Teaching and Learning Committee, which he chairs. Senior Lecturer Cheevers is a beloved instructor, mentor, and supervisor. He has served as supervisor for 89 final projects for the MSc in Accounting and Taxation, and almost 25% of that group graduated with distinction. His ability to build self-confidence in students, to explain theoretical concepts with clarity, to entertain and engage his pupils, offers us a pedagogical model worth emulating. Though he is the Associate Dean of Graduate Studies and Research for his faculty, and though he has been acting head of the Decision Sciences and Information Systems Unit at MSBM, inter alia, it is his advocacy role on the Student Engagement and Enrichment Committee that is clearly dear to his heart. His pedagogical passion has not gone unnoticed. He received the Faculty of Social Science Award for Excellence in Teaching in 2010, the MSBM Most Effective Teacher Award in 2017, and also the prestigious UWI Guardian Life Premium Teaching Award for 2012. It is time, Vice-Chancellor, to add another feather in his cap of accomplishments by presenting Dr. Delroy Cheevers with the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Congratulations, Dr. Delroy Cheevers. Congratulations. I now invite Professor Christine Carrington, Public Orator at the St. Augustine campus, to present the next award.
Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching. Vice-Chancellor, all teachers were once students, but only few of them remember it. Dr. Chris Maraj completed a BSc in Mechanical Engineering and an MSc in Engineering Management at the UWI in 2001 and 2006 respectively, and earned a PhD in Mechanical Engineering from Imperial College London in 2009. He has worked in industry, been involved in university teaching since 2009, is a senior member of the Association of Professional Engineers of Trinidad and Tobago, and fellow of both the American Society of Mechanical Engineers and the Institution of Mechanical Engineers. But he has not forgotten what it was like to be at the receiving end of instruction. His exemplary teaching is guided by this empathy. He believes that all his students can and wish to do well, and that his role is to understand their individual academic and personal challenges to nurture them into achieving their full potential, whether they are struggling students or high achievers. Dr. Maraj was an early adopter of blended learning models, such as the flipped classroom approach, through which he optimizes limited class time by engaging students in problem-solving group exercises. Keenly aware that teaching is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire, he creates an environment which excites students to learn. The result is a stimulating, cooperative learning environment where, in addition to being taught to yearn for the vast and endless sea, students practice problem-solving approaches, deriving cogent solutions and honing team skills that are essential for the real world of work. His success as a teacher is evidenced not only by consistently positive student evaluations, but also by dramatic improvements by poor performers participating in his mentorship interventions. Dr. Maraj contributes to pedagogical research through well-cited publications on student motivation and flipped classroom approaches. He has supervised over 60 undergraduate and MSc student projects since joining the UWI in 2012, and currently has 1 MPhil and 1 PhD student. In 2014, the Institution of Mechanical Engineers recognized him for outstanding commitment to talent development and as a role model of the year in 2016, when he also received a UWI Guardian Group Premium Teaching Award. Students describe his modern approach to teaching as refreshing, and graduates credit his teaching approach and commitment for their seamless and confident transition into the working world. Vice-Chancellor, I present Dr. Chris Maraj of the Department of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering for the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Congratulations, Dr. Chris Mirage. I now call on Dr. Michael Buckner to present the next award.
Professor Paulette Ramsey, Department of Modern Languages and Literature, Excellence Award in Research Accomplishments. Vice-Chancellor, to picture the stately Professor Paulette Ramsey is to risk humming that classic Taurus Riley tune. She's royal, so royal. She's a queen, so supreme. Her regal statue in life and in letters has been duly recognized by the French government, who bestowed on her a National Order of Merit in the rank of Chevalier. Dame Ramsey is the Ruby Royal researcher in our scholarly dominion. Creative writer, translator, newspaper contributor, editor, and scholar. She headed the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures for 2 consecutive terms, strategically positioning the department as the capstone of language learning, not just in the Faculty of Humanities and Education, but the UWI at large. The visionary Ramsey, double-tongued in English and Spanish, views foreign language competence as central to making UWI graduates competitive global citizens. In her 2014 newspaper article, she envisions the radical reorientation of our pedagogy in the direction of a global education approach. With such expansive thinking, Vice-Chancellor, you may not be surprised that our research output is muy grande. The Grand Dame of Latin American Studies has published 5 scholarly books, 6 books of creative works, 5 textbooks, and more than 60 other publications, including book chapters, journal articles, encyclopedia and dictionary entries and reviews. The glittering jewel of her formidable research glory, though, is her bilingual publications of her pioneering work on Afro-Hispanics. Her book, Afro-Mexican Constructions of Diaspora, Gender, Identity and Nation, has been lauded as the first of its kind in Hispanic studies. Experts have noted that this ovular work, quote, will provide much needed historicizing of the national histories relating to Mexico. It won for her the 2016 Principals Research Award for Best Book. A rare gem in the Academy, the majestuosa profesora is also a writer-critic whose first novel, Aunt Jen, in 2002, received rave reviews and was placed on the Cape Literatures in English syllabus. For her creative work and her outstanding scholarship in literature, she received the Farquharson Institute of Public Affairs FIPA Award in 2018. Named as one of UWI's 60 outstanding researchers under 60 in 2008, Professor Ramsey's work has been translated in several languages, including Chinese, German, and Italian. We are not certain if she speaks as fluently with the tongues of men as that of angels. What we do know is that she might be likened to the best interpretation of a Spaniard machete, sharply cutting away the scaffolds of concealment on Afro-Hispanic culture in 2 directions and in 2 languages. As Jamaican writer Velma Pollard says in her poem Cut Language, bilingual is the lick. She's a diamond duly set in the sparkling crown of UWI's research accomplishments, and it is appropriate, Sir Hilary, that you recognize Professor Paulette Angela Ramsey's lifetime work with the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence for Outstanding Research Achievement.
Congratulations, Professor Paulette Ramsey. I now invite Dr. Kenneth Connell, public orator at the Cave Hill campus, to present the next award.
Vice-Chancellor Award for Excellence, Professor Alina Kosarowska, Ireland. Vice-Chancellor, this legal scholar has made her weight of contribution in international law to be felt way beyond the boundaries of our Caribbean pitch. She has scored many sixes with her scholarly work. Professor Kosarowska, Ireland, joined the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill campus in August 2005 as a senior lecturer and was quickly promoted to professor in September of that year. This meteoric ascension should not be a surprise to any of us. She has authored over 23 texts in her research in European Union and international law. Her most recent book, Commonwealth Caribbean Law and Procedure, the referral procedure under Article 214 in the light of the EU and international law, published in 2019, discusses the referral procedure set out in Article 214 of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which established the Caribbean single market and economy. Hitherto to this work, there has been no contribution to this area of law. Two of her texts, Public International Law in its 5th edition, published in 2015, and European Union Law, now in its 4th edition, published in 2016, are seminal texts and are listed as required reading for the international universities such as the University of London. Another scholarly contribution, Competition Law in the Caribbean Single Market and Economy, published in 2014, and consisting of some 288 pages, was another first book in this emerging area of law. CSME competition law is such a new area of law in the Caribbean community, there is a paucity of authorities. Within the last 5 years, she has had several articles published in international peer-reviewed journals, such as the European Public Law and the Journal of Law, Economics and Sociology. She published What is the European Union Required to Protection under Article 4.2, the Uniqueness Approach, in 2019. And in European Public Law, the International Court of Justice's Vision of Just Cogans in 2016. For her work, Judicial Property in International Law, accepted to be published in Max Planck Encyclopedia of International Procedure Law, the Honorable Justice Westman James, Judge on the Caribbean Community Administrative Tribunal and former Deputy Dean in the Faculty of Law, Cave Hill Campus, remarks, to guarantee the highest standards of quality and diversity of this leading publication in international law, only experts in public international law from around the world have been invited to submit entries. End of quote. Vice-Chancellor, Professor Kosarowska, Ireland, has not traveled along lonely roads of highly specialized research. She has built many of them from scratch and is deserving of the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Research Excellence.
Professor Alina Kosarowska, Ireland. Congratulations. Dr. Buckner, where are you? Please come and present the next award.
Dr. Kimberly Robinson Walcott, Caribbean Quarterly, Vice-Chancellor, Excellence Award for Service to the University Community. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Kimberly Robinson Walcott is the creme de la creme of editorial éclat in our region. Even as I deliver this tribute, I imagine her editorial ears pricking up and picking apart my syntax, weighing my word choice, and policing my punctuation. With her keen attention to fine detail coupled with equal measures of delicacy and directness, she has been able to win the respect of academics and writers whose works find their way into her editorial orbit. On CQ 63, number 2 to 3, our sistering academic in Toronto, Anna Ford Smith, writes, quote, "I'm blown away by your eagle eye," unquote. With Editor Kim's laser-like lens and her production finesse, she has made UWI publications the envy of the world. UNICEF, for example, appraised one of her edited books as, quote, "the gold standard to which all publications should aspire," unquote. This charming dragon of editorial fame was a Jamaica independent scholar who took an eclectic editorial educational path. With great distinction, she completed her BA in English at McGill University in Canada, her MPhil in Town Planning at University College London, and after doing studies in graphic design at the School of Visual Arts in New York and courses at the Publishing Institute at the University of Denver, she earned her PhD in English at UWI. Her diversion from English to town planning must have sharpened her sensitivity to landscape and layout and to the aesthetics of planned design. This combination of her attention to studies of both the verbal and the visual would be the hallmark of her success. As the acting publications officer for the journal Social and Economic Studies, she began her service at the university in 2000, after stints in editing, administration, and strategic planning. Then in 2001, she became the publications coordinator, editor of books and special publications for Salises. There she engaged in publishing, marketing, teaching, and leadership. The highlights of her contribution included her revitalizing the book publishing of Salises, producing 15 new titles and 3 new editions of previous work, and her multifarious editing of student handbooks, conference programs, in-house publications, and even reports for the Mona School of Business. She remounted a marketing plan, streamlined the finances, designed and delivered academic writing modules, and organized conferences. Like a publication paramedic, she was also called upon UWI to resuscitate the iconic UWI journal, Caribbean Quarterly, CQ, in 2010. Those extraordinary reinvigoration efforts represent the fulcrum of her formidable service to this institution. This work included revamping the journal by creating a new design, as well as restoring old features. The new CQ now boasts novel sections such as Artist's Voice and Archive Gems, a revitalized creative writing section, a more attractive layout, more readable content, high-quality scholarship, a more user-friendly referencing style, and eye-popping new dazzling covers that one St. Augustine librarian lauds as eye candy for the reader. Moreover, she aggressively mobilized a fresh marketing plan that included CQ displays at local, regional, and international events, partnership with Rutledge, Taylor, and Francis to manage international marketing and distribution, a deal that reduces the pull on resources at UWI, even as it increases the CQ revenue. The yield of that partnership so far is a 79% increase in total revenue, 164% increase in downloads, and a 23% increase in institutional access. In addition to all this innovation, she has continued her own scholarly publication, peer-reviewed 15 manuscripts for the UWI Press, served on campus committees, supervised theses, guest lectured, adjudicated literary and publishing prizes, and edited one of Jamaica's national treasures, Jamaica Journal. She has also been seen as a serious creative writer for decades, writing and illustrating children's books and publishing short stories. She was awarded bronze and silver medals in the festival literary competitions in 1971 and 1980, and won the Commonwealth Short Story Prize for the Americas in 2005. Let us add another prize, Vice-Chancellor, by rewarding the tireless and energetic work of Dr. Kimberly Robinson Walcott with the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence for outstanding service to the university.
Congratulations, Dr. Kim. Kudos, Dr. Kim. Kudos. Michael, seeing that you're already at the lecture, please present the next award.
Dr. Olivine Burke, Mona School of Business and Management, Excellence Award for Contribution to Public Service. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Olivine Burke's success in working with inner-city youth reads like a fairy tale. Yet, she was no fairy godmother who waved a wand and suddenly transformed the lives of those who might have stopped stargazing. This was no hocus pocus, no bibbidi-babbidi-boo. Oh no! It was a much more arduous undertaking, requiring grit, strategic planning, targeted intervention, incisive research, and the stretching of the hands of collaboration far and wide. At heart, she's committed to keeping the dreams of our youngsters alive. Her quest is to help them follow the star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. One recipient has gone as far as the University of Denver, pursuing a PhD in higher education. As Executive Director of Mona Social Services, the outreach unit of the UWI's Mona campus, Dr. Burke's inspiration is to sustain hope in 14 low-income, inner-city communities in Kingston, St. Andrew, and Montego Bay. For over 19 years, she has mobilized her energies to building the social and intellectual capital of vulnerable, marginalized, and at-risk youth, particularly through the MSS and the UWI Township Scholarship Program. As a visionary social actor, in the words of our Governor General Sir Patrick Allen, her public service involves transformative advisory services, effective board chairmanship, civic and public services, and service to the UWI at large. She operationalized from dream concept to full reality the UWI Township Project as a fully functional unit of the Mona campus in 8 years. The MSS has impacted the livelihood of over 40,000 residents in the target communities, and they managed a budget of approximately 34 million, not including grant funding totalizing upwards of 37 million Jamaican dollars. The UWI Township Scholarship has awarded 86 recipients and produced 36 university graduates. With Peace Initiative programs leading to zero crime for 10 years, she led the entity in a slew of operations, from kitchen garden project to parenting workshops, to the certification of basic schools and the creation of job opportunities, all in concert with the drive to build capacity and develop community. Beyond this magical story with multiplier positive effects, she has been a member of several NGO, public and private sector boards, including community organizations. The indefatigable Dr. Burke also found time to participate and sometimes lead in various civic organizations such as the Lions Club, volunteer for the national elections, and to perform vital service as a Justice of the Peace. She has also given stellar service to the university community by serving on or leading several committees across various disciplines, organizing high-level conferences, seminars and workshops, adjunct lecturing, supervising theses, and single-handedly penning the self-study for the UWI accreditation process with the UCG. Simultaneously, she has continued to present conference papers and posters, conduct research, published scholarly work including 1 co-authored book, 4 book chapters, 2 journal articles, and 8 technical reports. One gets the impression, Vice-Chancellor, that there's no mission impossible, no impossible dreams to not wish upon a star, no obstacle to stultify this vibrant personality, this visionary social worker in the person of Dr. Burke. This UWI initiative that has sent the gown all over town, and Dr. Burke's leadership have already been recognized by AmCham's Civic Leadership Award in 2016, and more recently, the Anthony N. Sagba Caribbean Award for Excellence in 2020. It is time that you add your own blessing, Vice-Chancellor, by presenting to Dr. Olivine Burke the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Public Service.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is Dr. Olivine Burke. Congratulations. Now, if that wasn't an impressive list of presentation of laureates, then I don't know what is. I hope you have been intrigued and you have been enjoying learning about them through their citations. We now pause for another delightful musical interlude. This selection is presented by father and son, John and Giovanni Williams. you know, it's International Men's Day. So John and Giovanni, thank you so very much for that presentation. I could almost see everybody across the region tapping and dancing in their chairs. You're going to have to teach us how to glide and or pluck those string instruments. Thank you so very much, John and Giovanni. Now, Michael, I know by this you're all recognizing, realizing that our colleagues from the Mona campus are dominating this year's staging of the Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence. And Michael would have said that Dr. Burke is from Mona School of Business and Management, but she is in fact from Mona Social Services, so great job. Now, as we continue the second half of these evening's awards, Michael, it's your turn to come back again, and we're going to ask you to present the next award. Dr. Buckner.
Mr. Charles Grant, International Center for Environmental and Nuclear Science, Excellence Award for Public Service. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you the affable Charles Grant, a serious scientist, mind you, and a man whose research interests are of nuclear proportions. Pardon me if I say he's the bomb when it comes to public service. Since 2014, he has been the Director General of the International Center for Environmental and Nuclear Science, ICENS, having started at the center in 1993 as Chief Reactor Operator and Research Assistant. As the only nuclear research facility in the region, Grant has over the years positioned UWI and ICENS as the humming hub of nuclear technology for the region and for small island developing states. Demonstrating how UWI research radiates outwards, his work at the center has informed policy, provided solutions, and shared technical expertise. The impact of this work permeates multiple sectors: health, education, agriculture, water, and environmental management. At the core of his work is the use of nuclear technology for contributing to national and regional development. There have been a number of projects that Charles Grant has undertaken to have real-life impact in our community. He has explored the use of atomic energy in agriculture with the aim of producing new crop varieties, the use of radiation in the diagnosis and treatment of cancer and water resources development, and the use of nuclear technology to help to understand the health and safety challenges of the toxic elements in food plants. As chairman of the Hazardous Waste Laboratory Cleanup Ad Hoc Committee, he has been able to establish a framework for the treatment and disposal of lab waste and obsolete equipment, and to strengthen the environmental management of labs. This led to the removal of 8,000 liters of toxic waste and a 32% reduction of identified chemical waste. Moreover, in terms of regional reach, he has helped to design and implement one interregional International Atomic Energy Agency project that includes 19 countries, one International Atomic Environmental Agency project for 8 regional countries, and drafted country program frameworks for Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Guyana, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Additionally, he was responsible for drafting the regional strategic profile for the IAEA that targeted the region's most pressing problems and needs that could be solved by nuclear technology. The expertise of Charles Grant and the research work of ICENS have been recognized internationally. Consequently, he has been the mouthpiece and mind of the region in international conferences and fora, and has performed IAEA expert missions in the fields of nuclear reactors and neuron activation analysis, as well as helping new member states in developing their country program frameworks. His largesse on the international nuclear technology scene has allowed him to advocate for the UWI's ability to re-establish their nuclear medicine capacity. He has also been able to help secure millions of euros for various projects, including upgrading the UWI research reactor infrastructure. And in 2015, they completed the largest project of iSense, the core conversion project, that involved 3 countries, Jamaica, Canada, and the USA, 35 ministries and agencies, and costed $7 million US. With all this atomic activity, he's still keeping a pace with his research, producing 30 peer-reviewed journal articles, 2 book chapters, and numerous technical reports. The significant work of Charles Grant and iSense in respect to safety, increased productivity, enhanced capacity, and solutions to the region's problems demonstrates the relevance and value of the UWI to national, regional, and international development. Vice-Chancellor, I invite you to show your approval of our scientist Charles Grant by recognizing his work with the Vice-Chancellor's Excellence Award for contribution to public service.
Professor Charles Grant was only recently promoted to the professorship. Congratulations, Professor Grant. Dr. Buckner, onwards to the next.
Dr. Floyd Morris, Center for Disability Studies, Mona Campus, Excellence Award in contribution to public service. Vice-Chancellor, to read Dr. Floyd Morris's autobiography, By Faith, Not by Sight, is to get a glimpse into his extraordinary life. The publication of that book is itself an act of service to all of us, as it shows how, as a Jamaican people, we can transform tragedy into triumph. This outstanding public servant, educator, researcher, and advocate is a true-blooded UWI man, having completed all his 3 degrees at the UWI Mona, but more importantly, having survived the rigors of ragging on Taylor Hall. Nicknamed Ray Charles, he must have taken on some of Ray's sunny personality, because not only did he survive that rambunctious hall, he emerged as one of their student leaders before he had completed his first year. With his experience and leadership, he has done excellent service at the UWI, in the Jamaican legislature, and throughout the region. His UWI advocacy for the rights of persons with disabilities started when Dr. Morris was still a student, and he was co-opted onto the campus committee that helped to address the needs of this community. The work of that committee led to physical changes on the campus: ramping, parking space allocation, special room designations, changes to transportation arrangements, as well as the preparation of a policy document on disabilities. Today, Dr. Morris is the director for the Center for Disability Studies at the Mona campus, where he continues his activism for students with disabilities. His significant accomplishments include updating the policy on physical access, providing modern equipment, ensuring special facilities for student accommodation, agitating for employment, and maintaining the work of the Center for Disability Studies in research, training, public education, and advocacy. In addition to the aforementioned, he has also been able to raise up to 90 million Jamaican dollars in grant funding for projects. Yet, Vice-Chancellor, his passion for service did not restrict his work to one institution. He became the first person with a disability appointed to the Parliament of Jamaica. Since his entry into the halls of governance as a senator, he soon shook up their folly ground. He was instrumental in ensuring smoother passage for people with disability, the passing of the Disabilities Act 2014, and the introduction of sign language to the Parliament. He was also critical to developing Jamaica's social safety net by his role in the establishment of such institutions and programs as PATH, the NHF, and the National Insurance Health Benefit. He has also led Jamaica's negotiation on the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. His service to the public has included his tenure as President of the Senate 2013 to 2016 and his public education role via his radio program Seen from a Different Perspective on News Talk 93 FM from 2010 to 2018. Additionally, he has trained over 900 persons from across various industries in how to relate to persons with disabilities. Dr. Morris is now a recognized Caribbean expert on disability issues and is a sought-after conference speaker and media contributor. In 2018, Dr. Morris served as conference chair for the inaugural Regional Disability Studies Conference and launched the Regional Disability Index. For all this work, he has received numerous awards, including the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Disability Policy and Legislative Reform in Jamaica in 2012. Vice-Chancellor, Floyd Morris needed no Damascus Road conversion to do this work of service. Compassion is at his core. The kind of work that he has done is a demonstration of what President-elect Joe Biden envisions for his presidency, one that is marked by the duty of care to others. For his extraordinary public service, I invite you, Vice-Chancellor, to present to Dr. Floyd Morris the Vice-Chancellor's Excellence Award for Public Service.
Congratulations, Dr. Floyd Morris. Dr. Buckner, it's your turn yet again.
Professor Audrey Henry Lee, Sir Arthur Lewis Institute for Social and Economic Studies, Salises, Mona Campus. All-Round Excellence Award in 2 or more areas. Vice-Chancellor, this awardee is the top of top. The eminent African-American writer Alice Walker writes, and I quote, "Women of my mama's generation were stout of step," unquote. And if I might add, stout of heart. If we took note of the size of Professor Henry Lee's contribution to date, then we would know that she has already left indelible and inerasable footprints on Salises, the UWI family, and humanity as a whole. The first female university director of Salises, Professor Henry Lee, began her tenure at UWI in 1995 as a junior research fellow after having completed all her degrees at the University of the West Indies. She's recognized as a distinguished researcher and public servant who also excels in teaching and administration. Professor Audrey Henry Lee is a sociologist in the main who has researched and published on public policy, poverty, gender, human rights, and childhood. Her record of publication includes 8 books and short monographs, 10 book chapters, over 20 peer-reviewed articles, 5 special issues of journals, and 17 technical reports. She has also made more than 60 conference presentations. International and regional organizations bank on her research. So much so, she has been able to attract funding for her research from the likes of the Canadian International Development Agency, the UK's Department for International Development, the Caribbean Development Bank, the United Nations Development Programme, and the World Bank. In 2003, she received the Principal's Distinguished Researcher Award, and in 2017, research projects which she led or which she was involved won 2 more awards, one for having the most developmental impact and the other for attracting the most funds. The fact that in the last 5 years she's been involved in 7 commissioned research projects indicates the respect her research commands and the value of her research to social policy. Professor Henry Lee demonstrates by her public service the role that our university plays in Caribbean development. For example, she was invited to be a member of Jamaica's delegation to the UN to report on Jamaica's progress with the Sustainable Developmental Goals based on her research. She has been an outstanding chair or member of committees, commissions, boards, task forces, tribunals of various public sector, private sector, or non-governmental organizations, nationally and regionally. These include the Caribbean Sociological Association, the Child Development Agency, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, and the Caribbean Child Research Conference. Most of our work that informs social policy is geared towards improving the lives of the vulnerable. She is currently the lead investigator for assessing the socio-economic conditions of persons with disabilities in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, and Grenada. Vice-Chancellor, it is unfair to ask the public orator to contain such an illustrious career in a citation of 3 minutes. We must mention, for example, her excellent record in teaching, already magnified by her winning that prestigious UWI Guardian Group Premium Teaching Award in 2010. Her students wax eloquently on her passion, her innovativeness, and her care. Her fellow staff members are also equal in their praise of her steady, inclusive, visionary leadership in her administrative roles. Stout of step and stout of heart, Prof. Henry Lee has had no time for dilly-dallying or shilly-shallying. She has been working as if divinely inspired, making time to teach Sunday school and doing even more public service in the Kiwanis Club of New Kingston. She brings honor and distinction to UWI, a place she has spent almost all her life. And Professor Audrey Henry Lee is the perfect candidate to receive the Vice-Chancellor's Excellence Award for all-round achievement.
Congratulations, Professor Audrey Henry Lee. Professor Carrington, you're somewhere in the wings. Please present the next award.
Professor Michelle Maiku, Vice-Chancellor's Award for all-round excellent performance in 2 areas: outstanding research accomplishments and outstanding contribution to public service. Vice-Chancellor, tens of thousands of years ago, our early ancestors spread out of Africa, changing every land they touched and driving species, including other hominids and half of all large terrestrial mammals, to extinction. As historian Yuval Harari noted, This was all before they planted the first wheat field, shaped the first metal tool, wrote the first text, or struck the first coin. Then came farming, agricultural societies, industrialization, relentless expansion of the built environment, and globalization, causing habitat loss, resource scarcity, climate change, and now the pandemic age. Mankind's influence has required that a new geological epoch be proposed, the Anthropocene, dating from the commencement of significant human impact on Earth's geology and ecosystems. The scale of intervention necessary to reduce our impact and support sustainable human settlements requires action at all levels of government and society. Urban planners like Professor Michel Maikou, operating at the interface of scientific research, policy, and practice, are critical. Professor Maikou joined our staff in 1997 and has been full-time since 2003. She holds our BA in Geography and Social Sciences, an MSc in Urban Planning from the University of Hong Kong, and a PhD in Urban Planning from McGill University. Appointed Professor of Urban and Regional Planning in the Department of Geomatics, Engineering and Land Management in 2019, her interdisciplinary research has shaped policy and decision-making regionally and internationally. Her academic output includes 21 journal articles, 5 books and 12 book chapters, numerous invited reviews, training manuals, policy briefs, newspaper articles, and technical reports for national, regional, and international policymakers and practitioners. Professor Maikou's reputation and influence are evidenced by service on major global bodies tackling the planet's most urgent issues, such as the IPCC, UNESCO, UN Habitat, and Future Earth Coasts. She has received commissions for expert input from agencies such as the IADB, the World Bank, UN ECLAC, the UK Department for International Development, the EU, and several regional governments. She has advised and served on the boards of local and regional bodies, including the Asa Wright Center, is a member of the Global Water Partnership Caribbean CapNet Water Network, and held pivotal leadership positions in the Trinidad and Tobago Society of Planners and the International Society of City and Regional Planners. Professor Maikou's commitment to excellence and service has earned her several awards and lucrative success as a co-applicant on internationally funded research projects. Accolades include a 2014 UWI Guardian Group Premium Teaching Award, a UWI National Gas Company Award for Most Outstanding Research in the Faculty of Engineering, 2011 to 2014, recognition by the UWI in 2008 as one of its 60 most outstanding researchers under 60, and as a Caribbean icon and leading woman in science and technology by Niehurst. She was also the recipient of a Commonwealth Scholarship, a US Fulbright Research Fellowship, and a Canadian International Development Agency Fellowship. Vice-Chancellor, I present Professor Michel Maikou for the Vice-Chancellor's Award for all-round excellent performance in 2 areas, outstanding research accomplishments and outstanding contribution to public service.
Congratulations, Professor Michel Maikou. Dr. Connell, would you do us the honors and present the next award?
Vice-Chancellor, there is likely to be no single platform that has globally propelled the international image of our UWI, hypnotizing the attention and capturing the hearts of our world for all things regional than our own UWI TV. Our region is now celebrated. Our research and scholarship, our tapestry of culture and arts, our politics and democracy, and our right to stand boldly on the global stage, demanding the attention of boardroom issues, ranging from reparations to reggae. From its birth in 2016 to its vibrancy as a formidable toddler this year at the age of 4, the UWITV has survived both the terrible twos and the troubling trees with as much tenacity as its parent university, and shouts the internationally acclaimed reputation of the UWI with an authority that demanded the attention of everyone in view. Online with Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, oh and yes, instantly on Instagram. The aim of this growing infant has been to provide public information services and education and training programs that reflect the role and responsibility of the University of the West Indies as a premier intellectual engine of the region. Simply said, Vice-Chancellor, UWITV is situated and strategically positioned as a public relation engine for a world anemic for what our region and university have to offer. UWITV continues to be the canvas for artists, as scholars to showcase their expertise, to provide contemporaneous solutions to problems facing our world, from climate change to COVID-19, all punctuated with race, ethnicity, and social justice, the Black Lives Matter movement, the science of mosquito-borne diseases, our homegirl Rihanna, and the book launches of several of our regional leaders and thought shapers. UWITV provides a broadcast platform and media to secure a dedicated portal for all things UWI. This was a strategic response to the increasingly more competitive markets of mainstream media. UWITV secured authenticity of the Caribbean voice in all of its many dialects and inflections. UWITV has multi-campus tentacles, reaching across 4 landed campuses of the UWI and its 1 virtual campus of the Open Campus. This has been possible through collaborations such as the UWI United Nations collaboration, UWITV Caribbean Development Bank, collaborations with UNICEF, UNESCO, and the Institute of Statistics, and the OECS Educational Development Management. The latter 4 organizations have culminated in the Global Initiative on Out-of-School Children, the OOSC. The multimedia methodology approach, through an agreement with academia and industry, has led to UWITV broadcasting on Flow Evo network across 15 regional territories. This provides 24/7 access, one of the pillars of its parent 2017 to 2022 strategic plan, and speaks to our internationalization agenda. UWITV used media innovation, strategic marketing, academic industry partnerships, stakeholder involvement, scholastic showcasing in all things worth shouting about from UWI's campuses and the region to continue through its growing pains on a well-built trajectory towards excellence. Vice-Chancellor, UWITV is therefore fortuitously positioned, being the birthplace of many Vice-Chancellor fora, to receive recognition with the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Excellence in International Collaboration, the Globalization Award.
Congratulations to the UWI-UWITV team. Congratulations, guys. Professor Carrington, I now invite you to return to the lecture and to present the evening's final award.
The Early Childhood Quality Initiative, Vice-Chancellor's Award for Multi-Campus Research Collaboration, the 1 UWI Award. Vice-Chancellor, Nelson Mandela famously said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Investing in education early, during that critically important window of opportunity when the human brain is still developing, yields the largest returns, as it results in holistic development of key social, emotional, cognitive, and physical skills that are the foundation for lifelong learning and well-being. High-quality early childhood care and education nurtures capable, caring, and responsible future citizens, and, according to UNESCO, is one of the best investments a country can make to promote human resource development, gender equality, and social cohesion, and to reduce the costs of later remedial programs. Put simply, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. Beginning in 2015, the Early Childhood Quality Initiative grew out of a conviction that many of the social ills in Caribbean society can be remedied by improving early educational experiences and by recognition of the need for highly trained staff. This tripartite initiative has the overarching goal of assessing the critical needs of early childhood care and education in the Caribbean and understanding how professionals can be shaped to meet them. It comprises the Early Childhood Interactions Project, led by Dr. Zoya Kincaid-Clark of Mona, the Gender Sensitization Project, led by Cave Hill's Dr. Sharon Burns, and the Early Childhood Caravan under the stewardship of St. Augustine's Dr. Sabira Abdul-Majid. The Early Childhood Interactions Project, which is currently focused on Jamaica and Belize, seeks to address care and process quality. It has equipped trainers to effectively support, monitor, and supervise early childhood practitioners in using intentional, play-based pedagogies and high-quality interactions, and is now placing specially trained early years coaches in selected nurseries. The Gender Sensitization Project is already operational in 13 Caribbean territories. It has produced gender socialization modules and training kits and conducted sensitization workshops for early childhood trainers. In Trinidad and Tobago, the Early Childhood Caravan has promoted quality in early childhood teaching practices through community outreach activities that promote developmentally appropriate practices. It has conducted 8 workshops involving 650 teachers in the areas of language and literacy, teaching early mathematics, teaching early science, managing children's behavior, and the project approach in early learning. Together, these 3 projects have trained almost 1,500 teachers across the region, generated 19 conference presentations, 36 workshop presentations, and 7 scientific publications, including jointly and individually published journal articles, books, and book chapters. Vice-Chancellor, in addition to the aforementioned output and impact, the Early Childhood Quality Initiative has demonstrated inter-campus collaboration, innovation, and excellence in its design and approach. It is therefore my pleasure to present them for the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Multi-Campus Research Collaboration, the UWI Award.
Congratulations to Dr. Kincaid-Clark, Dr. Burns, and Dr. Abdul-Majid on the Early Childhood Quality Initiative project. What an impressive cohort. I can almost hear you robustly applauding at home for the exceptional work of our awardees. Indeed, yes, well deserved. Congratulations again, colleagues. In a moment, we'll have a response on their behalf, but before we do, I invite you to enjoy this evening's final interlude, and that will be done by Marcus Belgrave and company.
On a clear day, will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star you feel part of, every mountain, sea and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. On that clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and evermore. Thank you.
And look around you, and you see who you are.
I said on a clear day, how it will astound you, and that the glow of your being outshines every star you feel part of. Every mountain, sea and shore, where you can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. On that clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and
Thank you, Marcus. That was absolutely wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Dr. Kimberly Robinson-Walcott, who will deliver a response on behalf of the 2019-2020 awardees.
Chancellor and Ms. Maharaj, Vice-Chancellor and Lady Beckles, Principals and Pro-Vice-Chancellors, University Registrar, University Bursar, Deputy Principals, Chair and members of the University Selection Committee, distinguished guests, members of the media, fellow awardees and their families, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to respond this evening on behalf of the awardees. I don't know most of my fellow awardees personally, but what I have heard and read about their performance makes me awed and humbled to be included in this group. The person I know best is Aldry Henry Lee, whom I worked with for 10 years, up to 2010. And I will single her out here because from then I was impressed by her dedication, her commitment, her focus, and critically, her determination to do things right, to get things right. For me, these are the hallmarks of excellence, and I have no doubt that these characteristics are shared by all the awardees. Excellence is not something that comes easily. It is something you strive for. Excellence is intolerant of mediocrity and hungry for perfection. Attaining perfection is rare, if not impossible. But without that ultimate goal, there is no possibility of achieving excellence. I'm a proud graduate of St. Andrew High School, where the emphasis was not on competing to come first in class, but on achieving excellence. And I was fortunate to have parents who also believed in excellence for its own sake. That culture has carried me through my professional life, and I feel confident in speaking for the other awardees here this evening when I say that we have all strived to make straight A's in our respective fields. We have done so being fully aware that we are standard bearers for the university. Sometimes it seems impossible to make that A. For example, when a pandemic creates havoc and one has to do a crash course in online teaching, or to relax application deadlines in order to counter a drop in enrollment, or to reconfigure a graduate research program because field research is no longer possible, or when one has to convert an award ceremony from face-to-face to Zoom. But even with such challenges, if we aim for perfection rather than mere passability, if we aim for the high of being great instead of the low of just being good enough, then I believe the outcome is guaranteed to soar above the baseline of dreaded mediocrity. Excellence is its own reward. That said, I cannot deny that it is deeply gratifying for one's efforts to be recognized and valued. And so, on behalf of all the 2020 recipients of the VC's Awards for Excellence, I thank the Vice-Chancellor and his Awards Selection Committee. I thank the University Registrar and his team from the Office of Administration, in particular Lloyd Graham, for striving so hard to achieve an excellent event this evening. Finally, I thank the University of the West Indies overall for giving us the space and the support to pursue our endeavors and for respecting and honoring our efforts. Our vision is for the UWI to be showcased globally as an institution that unwaveringly and unequivocally promotes and produces excellence. If we have been able to play a small role in this process, we are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson Walcott. You and your colleagues honored here tonight are without question worthy recipients. Friends, we have come to the end of this virtual ceremony for the 2019-2020 Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence. These, our colleagues, have been inducted into a very special company, and we honor their contributions to the UWI and commitment to upholding our core values. As our awardees and the UWI community at large continue to demonstrate excellence in teaching and learning, the pursuit of research relevant to solving the region's problems, as well as infusing innovation and entrepreneurship alongside commitment to university, public and community service, we can expect to retain our position as #1 in the region and to continue gaining international rankings and recognition among the world's best. I encourage us all to be inspired to keep it up. At this point, allow me to thank all our awardees, the Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor Beckles, Professor Stephen Gift and the Selection Committee, Dr. Kenneth Connell, Dr. Michael Buckner, Professor Christine Carrington, our public orators, Dr. Kimberly Robinson Walcott, Andre, John and Giovanni and Marcus and Company for the entertainment. Last but by no means least, I must thank our dedicated cross-campus planning committee, all UWI staff members and our service providers for their talents and time invested in producing this virtual edition of the Vice-Chancellor's Awards for Excellence 2019-2020. To all our special guests at home, we truly appreciate your tuning into UWITV and spending time with us this evening. It was our pleasure serving you. Thank you and good night.